Why, hi there. This is Connie White, Coach White, some folks call me. Anyway, I'd like to welcome you to our coaching wake up. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the $350 billion that is lost in productivity annually. $350 billion that's lost annually in productivity. And when I was doing my research for this, I wondered, and I'm sure you're wondering now that you've heard it, how much of that money are you contributing personally? How much are you personally contributing to that $350 billion, that's with a B, dollars annually, due to lost productivity and employee engagement? Well, I'll tell you, I found the money. Yes, indeedy, I found the money. You won't believe where I found it. And it was easy to find. I found the money right there in my office. And if you can imagine my walking through your offices, I could find even more of the money. Well, if you can just bear with me now, take this trip with me. I walked into your office and I looked into the cubicle, and what did I see? I saw some money. And then I walked into the next cubicle, and what did I find? I found some more money. And as I kept walking around, I just found money all over the place. All over the place. And as I began to look further into the cubicle, I saw the type of employee that was there and why I saw so much of the money. Well, in the first cubicle that I walked in, the employee was so enthusiastic. They were enthusiastic. They were passionate about what they did. They just loved their job. They just loved their job. They loved the manager. They loved the company. They just loved the teammates. They loved everything about it. Now, let me ask you this. Do you know that kind of employee? That's the type of employee that goes the extra mile for you. That's the type of employee that when you need that overtime or you need that extra couple of sales to make your goal, that's the one that you count on. That was the engaged employee. Yeah, they just loved what they were doing. Couldn't speak any highly of you than they did that day. Well, guess what? I kept walking and I peered into the next cubicle, saw some more money. And I saw another type of employee in that cubicle. And that employee had just checked out. They checked out. They were totally checked out. And this employee was the unengaged employee. They checked out. They were sleepwalking through their day. This is the type of employee, and tell me if you can identify with this one. This is the type of employee that sleepwalks throughout the day. They actually play the system, if you will. That's what they do. They actually play the system, if they will. Well, guess what? I kept on walking, and I walked into an office this time, and I said, "Hi, good morning." And the response I got was, "Good morning? What's so good about it?" Well, some more of your money. I said, "Oh, this person seemed to be unhappy." Well, not only did they seem to be, they are unhappy. They're unhappy with the company. They're unhappy with their managers. They're unhappy with their teammates, the customers. They're just totally unhappy. So these are the three types of engaged employees that I saw. Can you tell me what the three types are again? I'll give you one. The first one was engaged. Remember, that was a passionate one, right? Enthusiastic. What was the other one? Yes, the other two are unengaged and actively disengaged. Well, you know what? I got to back up a little bit because I started talking about employee engagement without really giving us a working definition of it. And there's so many varieties in terms of the definitions. So I wanted to give us a workable one. And the one that I'm giving you is an emotional connection. That's employees that have emotional connection to the way they feel about their company. And that leads to behaviors and their level of effort into the work-related activities. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Well, I told you when I heard it, I was like, feelings, how they feel about the company? I know there's a lot of managers out there that many times felt the same way. I don't really care how they feel as long as they do their jobs. Well, I'll tell you, got to step back on that one, because how they feel influences the amount of effort that they put into their work-related activities. So we can no longer just disregard their feelings and send them down to HR about their feelings, because we say we only deal with strategy and we only deal with metrics. We better start dealing with those feelings, because those feelings are associated with that $350 billion in lost revenue annually, each year, out of our pockets. And yet it's found money. And yet it is found money. So we know what the definition is. So take a minute and write that definition down. What was the definition that I gave you? What was that definition again? Okay, great. Good, good, good. Right, I see. It's in chat. Go ahead and put it in chat. Right, it's the emotional connection that an employee feels toward the company that influences the behaviors and their level of effort in the work-related activities. Right. And what was the three kinds, the three types of employees that I told you that I meant as I was walking through your office? Right. I meant the engaged, I meant the unengaged, and I meant the actively disengaged. So take a moment and, if you will, what was the characteristics of the unengaged employee? Right. That's the employee that was checked out. Yeah, that was checked out. He was sleepwalking. And what was the actively disengaged? The unhappy one. Yeah, they're totally unhappy with everything and with everybody. So I want to ask you this question. Can you identify in your team or in your department the types of employees that you have? If you had to put a percentage on that in terms of the engaged, the unengaged, and the actively disengaged? Just take a moment and write that down. Okay, and also write for me what ways, there's two ways. What are those two ways that they engage with us? Right. Traditionally, which we can be blindsided by, right? Because they look like they're focused and they look like they're engaged and it looks like they're disciplined, but they're giving us a lower level of performance, the minimal level of performance, right? Because only 70% of our employees are giving us or working at their full potential. Only 70% are working at their full potential. So we need to know what types of employees we have and the way that they're engaging with us, because we need to wake up. we got to do a little something. We got to wake up. It's what we have to do. Because if we don't have a strategy in place, the one thing that we already know, right, is financially, how is it impacting us? It's impacting us $350 billion annually. That's how it's impacting us. And if we really thought about how much we contribute to the 350 billion, how much do we spend on trying to increase productivity? We haven't even taken that into account. You know, haven't even taken that into account. How much additional we spend trying to increase productivity. I know when I was out there, we were forever trying to come up with ways to increase productivity, profitability, and enhance the customer experience. And it all boils down to performance. Performance, performance. And what we get when we don't have a strategy in place, we get what? What do you think we get? Inconsistent performance. Inconsistent. How many times have you been called into your manager's office to ask you, why didn't you meet goal? Why is goal so much this month than it was last month? Let's compare the two. Let's compare our attrition rate to last month or 6 months ago. Let's look at the customer experience. Have we enhanced it? All consistent inconsistency in our performance. And they're asking us the reason why, and we can't answer that. Well, that's a whole nother module. But anyway, basically, it talks about behaviors. If we could look at the behaviors and the level of effort that our folks are making or not making, we'd have a better answer to that inconsistency in performance. We don't have a strategy in place. We need a strategy in order to have consistent performance. In terms of the environment, demotivation, negativity. Heard it when I walked into that last office, right? Person totally unhappy. Other person checked out. 70% are. 70% are checked out. Or 70% of our employees are not engaged or unengaged. And then, of course, the stress that it puts on us is, the stress is, I know what I was as a manager. What about you? And what about your employees? The stress has to be tremendous, and the burnout. Matter of fact, let me ask you this. What is your rate of attriting right now? Attrition, what is it right now? Yeah, it's in the double digits. It's in the double digits. The average is about 50%. So we're just churning and burning and churning and burning, and poor HR, they're recruiting, we're putting butts in seats, and it goes on and on and on and on. We're onboarding, right? We have to deal with the learning curves, and more productivity, more going right out the window every single day, because we don't have a strategy in place. If we have a strategy in place, then conversely, we're going to have improved performance. We're going to increase our level of engagement. It's definitely going to be less stress, and the customer experience is going to be so much better, so much better. And isn't that a big deal today? The customer experience? I see it. I hear it all the time when I'm out there. But if our employees, 70% of them are not engaged, it reminds me of that little thing, happy life, happy wife. Well, guess what? In business, it's happy employee, highly engaged employee, highly engaged customer. Happy life, happy wife, happy engaged employee, happy engaged customer. It's as simple as that. It really is as simple as that. So what are you seeing in your company today? What are you seeing in your teams, in your department? Are you seeing some of this stuff? Because I know as a consultant, when I go into companies, it just hits me right, bam! I say, bam! Right in your face, it just hits you. Yeah. Well, in conclusion, I want to tell you that one thing I know for sure, as Oprah would say, is there is definitely a link between employee engagement and the level of effort they put in and the performance or the productivity that you'll get or that you'll receive. Definitely is a link, It is definitely a link between the two. And I guess now you're saying to yourself, Connie, this has been good, but so what? What's this got to do with me? Really, at the end of the day, what does that have to do with me? Well, I will tell you, managers have a 70% motivational influence over their employees. 70%. And no one has a greater impact on employee engagement than you and you and you and you. No one has a greater impact than you guys. But surprisingly, only 36% of managers are engaged. 36%. 36%, only 36%. So let me ask you this. Are you one of the engaged? Are you one of the engaged? What about you over there? Are you one of the engaged? I ask myself, am I one of the engaged? Because of the impact that we have over our employees, over our direct reports. This employee engagement thing is a complex issue, and I don't mean to simplify it, oversimplify it. I don't want to oversimplify it. It's very complex, but you have a huge role in the outcomes, in the productivity, in the loss. You have a huge role as a manager and as a leader. So you need to ask yourself, what can you do to tune up, turn on, and pump it up? What can you do? What can you do? What can you do to convert the unengaged and the actively disengaged to engage? What can you do? Think about it for a minute. What can you do? What can you do to nudge now? We don't push people. We're going to nudge some folks from the transitional engagement, being transitionally engaged, to be more emotionally engaged. Because as leaders, it's costing us too much money. We have to stop contributing to this $300 billion annually in lost productivity, and we need to start contributing in a strategy to find ways to get our employees to engage. And it's not about balloons and food. It ain't all about that. It's not all about that. It's having a clear-cut strategy. Well, I'll tell you, that's really all I got to say about it. We just have to wake up. But on my next module, we're going to talk about the title is going to be Show Me the Money. If I could find the money, I can surely show you the money. So tune in the next module, and I'll show you the money. But wait, before you hit that button, before you go, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that like button. Hit the like button down there, and if you saw any value in anything I said today, just hit the like button. Let me know that you like that. And then there's a comment button down there, so you can comment too. Go ahead and comment. And if there's any questions that you have, feel free to go to our Facebook page. It's Coaching Wake Up. Go there, put your comment, ask your questions, and guess what? I'll get back to you. I don't have all the answers. We'll have to work out some of those answers, but we can work them out together. And we can wake up. This is your Coaching Wake Up. This is Connie White, and I want to thank you for listening, and I'll see you on Coaching Wake Up next week. Have a good one now. Bye-bye.